Having boundaries does not make you a bitch. Honoring your body does not make you a bitch. Disagreeing with someone does not make you a bitch. Having a shit day and being a bitch does not make you a bitch.
No. And PMSing doesn't make you a bitch either, by the way. Hi.
Hey.
How we doing?
Oh, we're back, baby.
We are
back.
live.
Better than ever from our new studio. Shout out to
Ben.
Got you, ladies.
I was like, are you trying to interrupt or are you trying to
No.
actually finish my sentences?
That's what I was trying to do.
I like stopped talking. I'm like, okay, she can take it. I'm like, shout out to Ben.
Ben. Whoops. We are in Minneapolis now. I won't tell you where, but we are in Minneapolis now versus out in the boony doonies with my casa. Okay. I don't know why I said it like that. Don't just ignore me.
I'm
Hi.
so sorry.
Can I restart?
We have to pause.
Why?
Because I was talking about my ears and someone told me how to get my ears cleaned on the live. If your ear canals were always bad from not being, then you have lots of nuggets. Oh my gosh, I have lots of nuggets and it'll make a difference. So I'm supposed to go to urgent care, get my ears cleaned. Okay. So that's the fact of the day. I can't hear very well.
Nugget girl, that's weird.
I know. I like the name Nugget.
Little nugget girl.
Little nugget girl. We moved our studio downtown. It feels actually really good to be here. Yeah. It is a little bit hot in here, I won't lie. So if you see an extra pit sweat situation going on, a little fanning, that's why. But this is fun. I feel like I can see some of the city out the window now. Like I feel like I came to do the podcast, you know what I mean? Versus like coming down the stairs or sitting in the same room that I do my work from.
It's awesome to kind of separate, I think, the podcast from our homes.
Yeah.
So, huge shout out to our producer, Ben Starbacher. Sarby Studios in the house.
In the fucking
Honestly,
house.
In general, y'all, Ben has been a game changer for this podcast.
Completely.
And cannot thank him enough. And we love you, Benny Boo Boo.
We love you, Benny.
Well, I love you guys too.
He's literally the reason that we're up and running. I'm not kidding you. Like he's the reason we can continue doing what we do. And he's the reason we're here. So anywho, not to like love him a little bit, you know, but like we love him. We have Straight Candid moments that we should just dive right into because we have a good podcast coming up.
I also have... There was someone who wrote in, I think it was supposed to be a Straight Candid moment, but it was more like a review.
Oh.
And I was going to share it last episode, but I think it kind of slipped by my mind.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an Apple Podcast review.
Okay.
And it just made me smile. So, and it's kind of why we do what we do. So she says, okay, so I was stretching after my late night workout, 10 p.m. at the gym. There were two strangers next to me without headphones and no one else was around. All of a sudden, one of those damned farts came and sat right on the brink. It felt like one of those would just soak back in, but I shifted and it came out so loud that I heard it over my headphones. So I knew the two strangers next to me heard it too. No doubt I tried to play it off by finishing up my stretch, but I booked it out of there a minute later. There was no way they didn't know it was me. Before listening to your podcast, this would have ruined the rest of my week and spiked my anxiety so much. But in their locker room, I calmed down and remembered this was a perfect Straight Candid moment. We are all human. We all fart. I called my best friend afterwards, told her about it, and we laughed it off. So thank you for all you do. It truly has helped me grow through the craziness of my mid-20s.
Oh my God.
And I literally...
Cute.
Look at, I got like...
I was just I'm getting teary-eyed.
Just normalizing farts.
I'm getting teary-eyed because people love farting now. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm actually tearing up.
I know. Do you fart in front of Jordan now?
No, I don't really, just because, well, yeah, I do, but I risk like, is he awake or is he asleep? Because I toot the most in bed, I would say, before bed.
Same.
Yeah.
I don't hide my farts, I'll tell you that right now. So if you can, you can't. I will say there's a happy medium between us both, I would say, because I probably do it too much.
I don't hold it in if that's what you're asking. I'll just try to make it less less loud. You know what I mean? Like I'll pull a cheek or do it, you know, or one cheek sneak situation. That's really freaking cute though. That like made my day. And I get the anxiety thing. I used to be afraid of like everything that would happen to me that was like weird or abnormal. And that's the reason why we do this shit. That's why we're here.
Also the reason why we're different than everyone. Like why streamline? Like they're probably like, hey, that girl that farted at the gym was kind of hot. Like
yeah, they probably liked it.
Drew attention to yourself. Get it, girl.
Why not? They like that butthole. Get a girl.
Okay, so new studio, Sid.
Yeah.
I have a feeling. I know there's been some history here. Has there not? And would you consider this a Straight Candid moment?
This is 100% my Straight Candid moment this week. I have been to this studio before. In fact, I have slept here before.
So this building, you guys, has a lot of different studios with it.
I've showered. I've ate.
You showered?
I've slept. I've done all the things here.
Have you seen the showers here?
They're nasty. But I was trying to, I was living a different life, all right? I thought, hey, let me date an artist let me see catch the vibes. The artist lived in a studio.
Oh, he was an artist.
Yeah, and I dated him. Well, saw him for a little while. Not like dated. We did not date. It was one floor below this, right to the right. And yeah, I've been here before, and let's just say I really got to know this building. Okay. And I feel a lot better. A little bit PTSD when I walked in. I was like, oh my God, where am I going right now? I've been here before. But yeah,
Oh gosh. Okay, it's just so intriguing to me because you dated an artist.
I know.
Because like very creative, I think like different than Jordan.
Yeah, correct.
So what are like the pros of what would you say the pros of dating an artist would be compared to Jordan, and what are the pros of Jordan? Or like what did you like about dating an artist? I don't know. I'm just like curious.
No, this is actually a really good question. I like the fact that he was really out there. I feel like he wore whatever he wanted to wear. He didn't really give a shit. He didn't care about like as much about how he looked. He was very articulate and thought very thoroughly always about everything. And that's where the cons start to come in for what my match is. So like he was a little bit too emotional for me, if that even makes sense at all. Like it was too much of always talking about our feelings.
You're like, I want to be the emotional one when I want to bring it up.
When I want to bring it up. He was a little bit clingy in a sense. He was always like, we had to talk deep about even like a TV show. And I was like, dude, I literally just want to watch television. I just want to watch TV.
Can I just watch the Kardashians
literally
without talking about?
Oh my God, about how society thinks of our people. I'm like, I can't. Come on. This is just supposed to be mindless
how the
TV.
world has normalized boob jobs and BBLs and what do you think the meaning behind this is?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to go there.
I've actually had a similar relationship now that I think about it too. Yeah. And it was just like too much. It's was
a lot.
Like I love talking about feelings and emotions, but I love the lightheartedness of guys who also kind of just like want to just have fun a little bit, you know?
Yeah. And I didn't like the idea of like, he would always invite himself over to my house, and he got like overly clingy when I like was pushing away, and then he grabbed harder and he like kept coming over, and then he wouldn't ask, and he'd bring his dog over. Like just like it was weird, and then his dog pooped in my mom's office, and that was when I knew, no, done.
Fun fact,
poop in my mom's office, you're done.
Fun fact, if you're a dude listening, if you get needy like that, she's gonna do the opposite.
I know it's okay, but it's the same thing with guys, right?
Yeah.
Like anything, like if I'm overly needy, it means like my independence is lost and I pull back, which is exactly what we're gonna talk about today. Is independence, being a boss ass bitch, being like the fucking hoe that you want to be, etc.
You are allowed to be a bitch. Is pretty much.
It's basically the gist.
Sums her all up.
Do you have a straight kind of moment?
Yeah.
Besides for the fact that I've literally been naked here. Okay, go ahead. I'm scared. I literally got tears in my eyes. I'm so scared.
I have also been in this building numerous times. I'm trying to think if I've ever been naked.
Here?
Yeah.
You've maybe been naked here? For the same reasons or no?
No, not for different reasons.
I hate this.
Say what?
I really don't like it. You guys.
For different reasons. There's a lot of, just kidding. Okay, never mind.
No, I just think about my life like a few years ago and I'm like, oh my Christ.
But
what
girl,
was I thinking?
Who would we be if all that shit didn't happen? We
agreed.
We gotta live it up. Like if you haven't had a hoe phase and you haven't slept with an artist, you better get on it.
You guys, I actually have some, oh no, I can't.
Oh wait.
No, nothing. It's
what?
nothing. No, it's not.
Was he good at sex?
No, God, get out of here.
Okay, I'll share my story.
It was a photo shoot. It started as a photo shoot and we ended up seeing each other for a while.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, you took a nude photo shoot?
No, I didn't do a nude photo shoot. I just did like a more risque photo shoot.
You want to know what's fucked up?
What?
Is I know what picture it is on your Instagram.
Yep.
I know it right now.
Yep.
Can I say it?
No.
Okay.
No. Wait,
why?
why?
It's like no one's going to know.
No, people know.
Okay.
People know. Yeah, don't.
I'm going to whisper in your ear quick. And you're pulling it down.
Ow! I think I just broke my tooth. Yes, you're right.
I guess
I'm weirded out. I'm sweating more.
You looked risque.
I was risque.
Okay, that's
okay. Anyway, straight kind of moment, huh?
Sid, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sugar. It was my first like out of the box thing.
Should we do a little boudoir shoot together? Okay, I'm gonna move on. So yes, straight kind of moment. My straight kind of moment is I'm so sad that sometimes I just want to be real with you guys. She grabbed my fan. It's her turn to fan herself. I want to be real with you guys though, because sometimes when we record podcasts, like I feel really on. Some days I feel really off. And I'm really, really upset with myself that I was off when Plant Daddy was on, because I get, some days you're just like, it's part of your period, maybe part of your cycle, maybe how well you slept. Like sometimes you're hyped up, ready to socialize, and sometimes you just like can't hold a conversation. You know what I'm feeling?
I know exactly what you mean.
Think of trying to do this when you're literally recording a podcast when you feel that way. So it's hard, but obviously like sometimes you walk in the room and you get a little hype up. Sid like makes you laugh and you're like, okay, I can do this. But I've also been really kind of frustrated with myself lately because I have been feeling like a lot of this brain fog happening, and I have a hard time like recalling certain words. And I'm like, I feel stupid. I'm like, I feel dumb sometimes. And it's frustrating because then, you know, you see like stupid comments in Apple Podcast reviews that actually like kind of hit home and you're like, fuck. And then you become who you don't want to be because of it. So I'm like actively working on trying to figure out anxiety, because what's happening is really I'm just thinking of 20,000 fucking things at one time.
100%.
So sometimes when I'm nervous, I can't finish sentences. Sometimes when I'm nervous or sometimes when I'm overwhelmed, I can't think of the right word, and it happens. And especially when I'm like supposed to be turned off and I'm like maybe just in a car with someone having a one-on-one conversation, I have a hard time like, okay, turn it back on again, turn it back on again. And again, I've talked about this so many fucking times on the podcast, but it's because it's real and it's like definitely a huge part of my life.
100%.
So yeah, just something I'm kind of actively working on, trying to figure out, making sure I'm like continuing to like read and learn and like stay up to date with like shit, because yeah, sometimes I just feel like a little bit slower.
I get it though. That's
like,
that's
it's
okay.
Frustrating.
It's frustrating, but I think a lot of people feel it, and I think some of it / a lot of it has to do with COVID and things changing, and our normal routines of learning and like going out and talking to people has subsided, which also means that we're not overextending ourselves. But I think that we're not learning the same patterns as we always grew up in. Like everything's a little bit slower. Yeah. So we feel a little bit slower. I will say, like, on the flip side of that, I feel you, because I have been so fucking hard on myself lately about how quote unquote boring I feel, and like how I feel like I don't have creativity for the next podcast, how I feel like I can't come with ideas, even though like I'm like idea Nelly. Like I literally, my brain is always popping off. But for some reason, I think I got overwhelmed with just everything going on, not the podcast. Yeah. It's like, I mean, and I can't get creative.
Not gonna lie, the podcast is overwhelming. Like
at times, totally.
Everything we're doing is it's
and I think I got caught up with the like all the like tactical things versus the actual most important thing, which is just the content that we put out.
And just like
stupid.
And honestly, like being us. Because
being me. For me. I don't need to fucking pretend that I'm, I love it. It's Friday. Today's the best day ever. No, it's not actually.
And we were actually just talking about this. Me and Sid were like texting back and forth, and how we're like, it's kind of crazy how much we've grown. And what's the best part is we haven't grown by trying to be all like influency and like, you know, like having to post daily about some supplement or something. Like we're literally growing from being fucking weird like literally being ourselves.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you.
Ben just brought us cold water.
If you guys are watching the YouTube, I for sure have a sweat stash. If I was wearing a gray shirt, I'd be soaked. Like I'm so glad I'm wearing black right now. Same. Oh my God. But anyways, thank you, Ben.
Oh my God.
Okay, I feel like I had a funny streak kind of moment, but let me just like double check. If not, you can share yours.
No, but I fucking appreciate talking about this, because even a lot of people will be like, how do you balance all this shit? And we'll do a topic again about like our day-to-day life and all the things, but I don't sometimes.
I was just going to say, people always ask that. They're like, how do you balance it? And I'm like,
I don't.
I'm not managing. Like, I can't even think of words.
Let me tell you something. Jordan and I just had a really tough conversation because he said that I'm consistently late and it wastes his time when he could be doing other things.
I'm consistently late too. Yeah.
And it's what my problem is, and I'm sure it's your problem too, is I just have way too many things happening and I don't prioritize correctly, and then I'm late and I'm using someone else's time versus being mindful and saying like, hey, I'm late. I'm like embarrassed because I'm trying to people please, and then I end up making the person even more upset because I wasn't honest about what time I was going to get there, or mash something into a gap I didn't have.
Yep, we people please because we say yes, and we are like we're like, oh, this is the expectation, like I can do this for you, and then we under deliver.
Yep,
which is kind of it's like
better, the worst case.
Yeah, best tip would be like, don't over deliver, under deliver. So then when you do execute whatever you're doing, you're like, oh, okay, they expected less.
Oh, I see. Like,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I do.
I'll be there at 3 p.m.
Well, my problem is I can only do everything 120%. Like I can't do anything half-assed, which is my issue too. It's like I didn't actually have to spend 1,000 minutes on this one little thing that didn't need that much time.
I feel you.
And I also, if I have 10 tasks in front of me, I'll move each one like 1 point along. And then I'm like, okay, got a next day 2 points long. So they're all overwhelming me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh,
Life, dude. Life,
man.
right? Amen.
Oh, okay. I need to breathe.
Are you okay? What happened?
I'm just having a hot flash.
I won't lie. I think I'm pooling right on my stomach and my belly button, like little sweat droplets.
You're like, oh, there's a bug down. By the way, we're just like, we will have AC. We're not in like some dungeon.
No, this is like a very nice, it's a very nice space.
We're waiting for the AC to kick on.
We're also nervous because we're out of our comfort zone. We're in a new place. We're like, oh my God, I'm looking at the sun chips across the room. It's all happening. No, but I'm actually really excited about this topic today.
Do you have a straight can of moment?
I did. I already did.
Oh, fuck. Ben, do you have one?
I have like I kind of already told you guys about this, so I'll be brief.
Okay, wait,
but me and my co-host with my podcast have an opportunity to write a porn script.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
which was just like the most straight candidate gets. Where what?
I want a sentence from it, so pull it up.
Oh, the message that she sent us.
No, the
I want
actual script she's saying.
I want a couple sentences from your script right now.
We
Okay,
haven't
first of all-
written the script yet.
You don't even have a sentence? You have a sentence. Don't you lie.
Well-
I know you've been bantering back and forth.
Can we just take a second? What is your life? Like what? He's lived in a TikTok house. He runs meme accounts. He has a podcast, and now he's writing a porn script. Are we okay? Like what? That is not a normal. Hey, I'm Ben, and like that is not what you'd think on a speed dating. Like your info.
Well, I love it for a straight-handed
Hilarious.
moment because it's just like all the stars kind of perfectly aligned where, I don't know why, but I've kind of like, I noticed just like, oh, I have followers who are porn stars, like relatively known porn stars who have been in decently big films.
That's not. That also is not normal. Like I don't have any. I don't think I have any porn stars following me, and I'm not looking
Is
actively.
that maybe because you follow them first? and
No.
then
It was just like I
they like
noticed. Yeah, I
think
noticed
you're
they were
funny?
following me, and I was like,
They
"Hey,
wanna-
yo!"
I will say you do a lot of lot of trends that are like sexual or like funny sexual like
True.
little things that like a lot
Oh.
of people don't do. Like, cause you're pushing an envelope a little bit, which is probably why people are like, oh my
Good.
God, I like that this guy also like pushes the envelope a little bit.
Good
No, that's
point.
very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
God, I'm
You don't
fucking
have-
smart.
share-
See, smart.
Okay, let's all work together. We'll make 3 sentences.
Okay.
You say the first sentence, Ben. Or do you want me to start? Oh, you have it in your tip of your tongue. Okay, let's hear it.
No,
We're gonna help you. Come on.
So
first
it's
sentence.
we're the way we want to write it is more like,
That's not what we're doing right now.
okay, well, you want to actually like make one? It's like,
We're making a 3-sentence porn script
Oh
right
God,
here.
here we
okay,
go. All right.
okay.
I already feel like a sinner. Where's Jesus? Is he here?
I got it. We got to go with the classic. Damn, girl, you shit with that ass? Or
That's a pickup line, not a porn script.
well, that's what they do. They're like,
Oh, really?
They do
They
talk
walk
to
up.
each
Okay,
other.
so Sid, your turn. So you answer his question because you're.
Yeah, I do. Oh my God. Oh my God. No, I just
No,
got
no.
So, it's so hot in here. I can't think. Fuck.
I just,
I forgot. I like, forgot the question.
The way she said that. I wish you guys, if you're not on
Oh
YouTube,
my
you
God.
better go.
Woo!
Yeah, do.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just thinking like if Jordan dirty talks to her and she's just like,
I go,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
He's like, Sid, your ass is looking fat. She's like, yeah, it is.
Thanks, babe. Okay, next line. You're up. Third
Okay,
line.
so now I'm going to reply to him maybe.
Okay. Apply to her.
Do you pee with that dick?
Oh my God. Oh. We're not in the porn industry for a reason. Anywho.
yo, you should interview to someone like that. Like, do you pee with that dick? And just
Okay,
Okay, moving on.
I'm sorry. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. He goes, I'm sorry.
I knew it was going to be a hoot, though. We had
I
to.
knew it'd be a hoot and a holler.
A hoot
I knew
and
it'd
a
be a hoot and a
holler.
holler. Oh, by the way, we just were reading our live. If you get on our live, we usually go live around 3 p.m. CST on Fridays now. If you're curious, meet us there on TikTok and Instagram. Usually, today is different. Anyway, but we were seeing people are listening from India, New Zealand.
Cambodia. I definitely made that one up.
Nope, I didn't see Cambodia on there. I did see. Come on, you got this.
Cayman Islands.
Cayman Islands. There was another one.
Ooh, I didn't.
Abu
hear-
Dhabi,
Yeah, Abu Dhabi, Canada.
Canada.
New Orleans. I made that one up too.
Soph is
Who the
just
hell
throwing
is this bitch? I don't even know who she is. All right, into the topic we go. It's about damn time.
Okay.
Do you want to start with being a bitch or do you want to start with being independent?
I want to start being a bitch. Because I honestly think our listeners are too nice sometimes.
They
don't
are.
You?
Yeah, be mean to us a little bit.
I feel like they just need like a little something something. They need to hold their ground.
Yeah, hone your inner like TikTok troll. You know what I mean? Like hone your inner like
Yes.
Like
so
that.
I'm gonna kick this off by saying, okay, so a bitch, when applied to a woman or a girl, it means someone who is unreasonable, malicious, controlling, aggressive, or dominant, obviously. When applied to a man or a boy, being a bitch reverses its meaning. And it's derogatory term for being subordinate, weak, or cowardly. You know, like stop bitching. Is that interesting?
That is really interesting.
Quite interesting. So I was like, I feel like there's a fine line between actually being like a C word, like a bitch, and being a candid bitch.
The thing is, I've been afraid to be a bitch for literally as long as I can remember.
Because if you have your opinions, you got to be careful because guys will think you're being a bitch.
Well, guys, girls, friends, whatever. I also like people please for as long as I can remember. I would like agree to plans that I didn't want to go to. I'd be friends with people that I didn't believe in what they were saying or acted out, all these things. And I finally, I think it was about a year ago, decided I don't give a fuck. Your pants are tight and damp. They are tight and damp. Oh, yeah. Wow. Oh, there's a lot of liquid in there. But it's like, why are we so afraid of being this like powerful woman? It's okay to like disagree. It's okay to do all these things. And we're going to go through our list of like what is okay for being a bitch. I'm not talking about being mean to somebody for no reason. I'm not talking actually about TikTok trolling because like don't do that.
I have a definition for being a good bitch / a candid bitch is what I'm calling it.
I would love you to read
I kind of made it up. We're coining the term candid bitch.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's not being like like a C word. It's standing your ground. So
and you should.
Yeah. So being a candid bitch includes the confidence to state opinions clearly and firmly, to back them up in the face of disagreement, to make strong and steady eye contact, to embody your sexuality, to display calm and confident body language while speaking and listening, to set boundaries, to be sad, to say no, and to unapologetically fart out loud and maybe even shart.
Oh, I love
Do you like
that.
it?
I love
So you're allowed
that.
to act. Oh, my computer just
It
died.
landed right on that, and I was like,
you're allowed to act.
shart. And I'm like,
Yeah, you're allowed to act like a candid. You're like,
I'm like, yes, preach.
I added that part for you, Shardy, honey. Shardy tutor.
Normalized sharding 2022.
Yeah.
2023.
Normalized pooping,
We're coming into
girls
the new year.
poop. Let's go. So it's just kind of like you're allowed to be this, candid bitch because most of the time it's not even an insult. Most of the time it just means other people are uncomfortable with the fact that you're secure and confident. And that you just won't let yourself get pushed around and that you won't let them walk over you. So
You shouldn't.
Candid bitches unite.
Candid bitches all come together. I wrote down a few things, and I'm just going to, I feel like we should go tit for tat because I feel like they're going to kind of go off of each other. And let's just fucking do this. Because I bet you have some of these.
Yes. Well, I just like preface it. I think like having boundaries does not make you a bitch. Yep. Honoring your body does not make you a bitch.
Yep.
Disagreeing with someone does not make you a bitch.
Right.
Having a shit day and being a bitch does not make you a bitch.
No. And PMSing doesn't make you a bitch either, by the way. You don't get to, your behavior doesn't need to be excused because you're PMSing. Like, you're just PMSing. Like, you can be a little bitchy. It's fucking okay. It's your hormones.
What did you call it? We were recording. I forget what you said, but you're like, sometimes I just have like this bitch urge maybe.
Oh, I know what you're, oh shit.
I think we can call it a bitch urge, but like sometimes you just want to fucking kick the trash. Out. You want to slam the fucking cupboard.
I want to cry. I want to scream.
Feel your feelings.
I've screamed. I've thrown a pillow. I've gotten really mad. I'm like, I can't even be by you. Like literally like psychotic like that. Like I could be like under your bed scaring you at night. Like that kind of scary. I wrote down, be picky about your friends. That does not make you a bitch. Like you do not need to be friends with people who don't align with you anymore. You do not have to be friends with people who don't agree with the things that they talk about, the things that they say, their motives. Let's say if you like, you don't like going out and like getting all the attention or like, going out purposely to get attention or do something you don't want to do, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You do not need to feel bad or feel like a bitch because you just want to distance yourself from somebody. That's not your job to feel that way. Don't carry that. You know what I mean? Ditto, right? Okay, I'm going to go. Ditch on plans you're overwhelmed with. Like, you do not need to feel like a bitch if you do that. Like, if, let's say it comes down to literally 15 minutes before the plans and you communicate hey, I'm overwhelmed. I don't feel like coming. Or maybe you're not even overwhelmed. They'll be like, I don't feel like driving. I don't feel like doing this tonight. I'm sorry, I'm not coming.
So I wanted your take on this because I've gotten the habit of, because I find that happening to me a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be the person that always bails, right? So like, I think there's definitely a fine line. Like lately I've been, and I don't know if this is the right thing. I'm just kind of telling you my experience. Yeah. Like I'll be like, I'm going to see how I feel after I'm done coaching. Like there is a chance I'm socially drained, but I'll keep you updated. Like I'm literally just like way too honest. I don't know if that's like.
That's nothing wrong with that.
And I think that's like the better plan of attack. Cause then again, I'm under delivering. And if I show up, it's like, oh yay. Versus I'll be there and then I'm like, I can't come.
Especially if it's a group plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If it's something where here's what I think. If you realize that after coaching every Friday, you're like, I can't fucking do anything after this. And you've already bailed, like, let's say twice, apply those learnings to the next day. And when someone asks you to hang out on a Friday, be like, actually, no, I don't do anything after Fridays. Like I coach and I get way too burnt out. Otherwise I'm just going to bail on you. You know what I mean? Like, and then be real.
Love.
Like, why not? That's not bitchy. It's just being real.
And in regards to that one too, you're not a bitch for like leaving a party early. Like even if that means you show up and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna Irish goodbye. I do that shit all the time. If you're out at the bars, but like obviously if you're like invited to like a bridal shower, like say your condolences or your congratulations and leave. But
just dip. Peace.
You're not a bitch for leaving early at all.
No, nothing wrong with that. Also, if you want to go fucking home after being at the bar like too long and you're ready, and your friend isn't. And let's say you promise to stay together no matter what. Like I usually think that whoever wants to leave earlier, you go with that time. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? But if you're ditching your friend, like that's a little different of a story. If you're leaving them at the bar, like only if it's a solo person. If they've got a group of people, they're fine.
That's why I never go out with, if you ever go out with me, have you ever gone out with me, just me and you?
No.
Because I'm like always, just, you know, we can go out, but I'm not babysitting. I will more than likely Irish goodbye. Like I like cannot, I can't promise it.
I do Irish goodbye. I also, when I drink a little bit too much, I just kind of wander and leave. Like I don't like talk to anyone. I just kind of like, all of a sudden the switch goes off and it goes home time. And I like drift off into the wonderland. Okay. I wrote down, if your gut feels off, don't feel like a bitch for speaking out. Why? Because think about when you're at.
Oh, I
was going to say, I feel like you have a good point on this. I was thinking work related, friend related.
I'm thinking
family relationship related.
When guys can't understand exactly, like, you're like, I just feel, you know, I'm just like, this is how I feel. But why do you feel that way?
Oh,
I don't know. It's how I feel. Like, listen to your gut. And like, sometimes you don't have to explain how you're feeling. Like, and I know like the brunt of the person is going to be your significant other because you're living with them all the time. Like you don't always have to explain why you feel a certain way, and you shouldn't have to. So
you don't have to over explain for yourself.
But like your gut knows how you're feeling, and fuck it.
A year ago, I feel like Jordan and I were going through some ups and downs, and Sophie was aware of that. Like it just was getting used and getting to know somebody and dating them. And I literally verbatim told Jordan, and you could take this as being bitchy, or you could just take this as like knowing what I want and what I don't want. I told him straight up, I was like, if we don't figure out how to communicate better and be honest and open with each other consistently, I can't do this relationship at all. And I know that within 3 months, I'm going to want to end it.
Yep.
Like,
that's not being bitchy.
That's not being bitchy.
That's being a candid bitch.
Candid bitch. Wink, ding, enter the dink sound. Literally though, like you be real, even if it's with work too. Like I've been talked down to at work, and whether it be in that moment or it be right after to your like manager, I've told them like, hey, this person said this and that made me feel extremely disregarded. I don't feel like that was okay. And I'd like to either say something or I'm going to say something to them, like just FYI in case it blows up a little bit. Like be that boss bitch. Come on. God, that come on was kind of cheesy. Come on.
I also think we live, it's just interesting to like, I feel like we need to normalize like the bad days. I was just talking, isn't it funny like the older generation when they say something, you're just like, wow, that just like hits different.
Yeah.
But if your like parents were to say it or your friend were to say it, you're like, oh yeah, whatever. But there's this old man who lives in my building.
Oh wait, I get what you're saying.
And do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like even if your best friend would have said this exact line, what this man told me in the elevator, I would have been like, yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
But since he told me, I was like, wow, you're so wise.
Tell me.
So I was just telling him because he knows exactly how I feel every day because I see him in the elevator a lot. And I have good days, I have bad days. Like it happens often. And he's like, how are you today? And I'm like, you know, I'm better than yesterday. He's like, that's great. And he was telling me, and I was like, oh, sorry, we're going all over. But then I go to him, I say, it's really frustrating though, because I feel like I'm going up and down on a roller coaster with, you know, how I'm feeling. And I know he works with a lot of people with addiction issues. Like he is kind of like a therapy type of man. So he is definitely in tune with feelings, which is why I shared this much with him. But he was like, not everyone is, you know, constant every day. The people that come off as like constant and never having those like really good days or really bad days, they're the ones you got to worry about. And I was like, oh,
good point.
So fucking true. And I'm like, because I have no other option than to let people know how I feel, because like I literally wear my emotions right on my sleeve.
Nothing wrong with that.
Everyone knows. And it's like kind of frustrating sometimes, but you can't really do anything else. So when you have those bad days, like, just embrace it and let people know, like, it's just kind of a bad day today. And it's just hard because we live in this world of like toxic, I guess, like positivity sometimes.
Yeah, I get it.
And it's fake. And I don't know if that comes from, I don't want to bring like religion really into this, but it's, you know, it's like, let God, let God. I know, I'm just like, no, my day's shit today. Like, I want to be a shit sack.
You can sit on the being a shit day. Like, you can hang in the shit for a little bit. As long as you pull yourself out eventually, but like being okay with the shit, right? Sit on the shit. You can. It made me think of a day where I did lash out a little bit at a friend on accident, but let me just explain it because it aligns with this. I had come home from the hospital on 4th of July and people were already at my house because things were happening and my grandma's getting worse and worse by like literally the minute. And people were already at my house when I came home from the hospital to have a barbecue at my house on the 4th of July. And my one friend comes to me and she goes, I came in the house and I'm extremely distraught, like so overwhelmed.
Well, yeah.
I mean, like,
dude, that would suck.
No, I didn't want to admit to it. It was fucking terrible.
You should have just
I should have told everyone to leave. I know.
Honestly, no, you should have been like, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to go upstairs and shut your door.
Well, what I did was I took like 30 minutes or so just to like be alone and like have a breakdown. But my friend goes, how are you doing? And I literally looked at her and I go, I'm fucking terrible. I'm literally fucking terrible. I literally go, I don't think I've been worse than I am right now. And I literally looked at her in the eye and she was like, oh my God, because one, I never act like that. I never say what I'm actually feeling. Well, not never, but you know what I mean? Like in that like straightforward of a sense. And it felt fucking good to be real. Yeah. It felt fucking good. And you know what? I apologized to her later for like coming off a little bit like strong or harsh. But she was like, don't apologize. She goes, you should be real about your feelings. You should be real about what you're actually fucking feeling. That's a real friend.
That's the kind of friends you need, because those are also the people that, you know, day by day, even your significant other, you just show up for life. Like you show up how you are. And if it's a bad day, they're going to know. And yes, sometimes your emotions are kind of like thrown on them, but they need to know that they're also going to do the same thing when they have a bad day. And it's completely normal. And I think being real like that is great.
And I just talked about it later. I was like, shit, I was really aggressive that day. Like, whatever. And she's like, I get it, dude. What are you talking about? And it's like, holy crap, I don't have to surround myself with people that I only need to people please and walk in eggshells, because if I say something a little too aggressive or if I don't see them one day, then I become the bitch, when I literally in reality, I'm like, no, actually you're the bitch for lashing out at me for being busy. See ya.
It's just funny because we've also had this conversation, because I'm like, we can't sugarcoat stuff anymore. Like we just gotta say it how it is.
I know.
Like even like Ben, like being very, I think he knows we're females and probably more emotional. Like he quick shoots a text and like.
Wait, you guys are women?
What?
And,
scary.
And I never.
We can see your nipples. You can't see ours.
I never, Ben, want you to explain. Hey, this is serious.
I'm sorry.
Ben, I never want you to send a text and then be like, oh, I'm sorry, that may have come off aggressive. I don't read it like that. Like,
no, we don't read it like that.
And I think we need to all include like our team, but also everyone listening is like, people, like, why are we assuming the worst in people when they are texting you? Like, I mean, I'm a culprit of this too. Like when someone texts you with no smiley face or just periods, you're like, oh my God, they're fucking pissed at me.
I know. Remember when like, periods meant so much?
Yeah. But like, it's a fast paced society, y'all. Just like say what you're feeling and just go right in.
Go right in. Don't walk around it. God, when the emails get long too, and it's like you're just literally were trying to tell me that I did a shit job on something. Just say it.
Yeah.
Literally just say it, because I can actually learn from you telling me what I did wrong versus you sugarcoating the truth.
Yep. Love.
Preach. Well, on that, I was going to say, let your groups get smaller. Don't feel like a bitch for letting your group get smaller. Like your immediate group of people.
Yeah.
Don't feel like a bitch. We've talked about that one before.
I got the smallest group.
But like...
I hang out with probably 2 people.
Mine is very scattered, I feel like. Like I have,
and they're right here.
and they're right here. You guys are here. I have a friend that I like lift with. I got a friend that like, what, you know what I mean? Like mine is just random and I love it.
Yep.
I love it more than anything.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's fucking wonderful.
Because then I have less people to people please, which is also fucked up,
And
but it's true.
let me just say something, and this one sucks to say, because I would get coffee with every single person on the planet if I could.
Yeah, you fucking would. Dude, when we met, said, "Oh, I'm grabbing coffee with this person, then I can do this. Oh, I'm grabbing coffee with this person. Oh yeah, but then I'm meeting, and then I meet with this person." I'm like, "What is this girl doing?"
Literally. And guess what? I was spreading myself so thin that I was like 80% of me or 70% of me or less than that, just based on how much I was like doing. Quit it. If you don't want to hold on to the relationship and it doesn't mean more than just a coffee date here and there, and you don't really like learn anything from that person, or like it's not somebody you go to when you have like stuff going on in your life, stop.
Yep.
Stop it.
I think this goes
just coming from someone who did it too much, like way too much. I love
that. And I think this goes into a little talk about like the people that are listening that maybe are single, because we talked a little bit about relationships, like letting them know how you're feeling, show your feelings, like it's okay. But when you're single and saying no to dates, saying no, maybe ghosting for certain things, like a lot of this comes off as being bitchy. And I've even had friends that like receive texts from like dudes like, okay, whatever. Like, you know, that just like kind of like, oh, I'm not going to see you again. Ego. You hurt their ego. And then you immediately think, oh my God, I probably did something wrong. No, honey, you were standing up for yourself and you didn't like him. He made a horrible side comment. He had really bad values. Like, hold your ground and be strong with that. You're also not a bitch for going out and flirting with a guy and then deciding you want to go home without giving him your number. You're also not a bitch for going out and having a one-night stand and not talking to the dude the next day.
Because you just don't feel like it.
Guys do that stuff all the time. Like, you are allowed to do that. And it's just, what should we talk about ghosting? I feel like we had a DM about ghosting.
You know, what I was going to say about this was, I used to pretend or make up a reason why the date didn't go well, or like why I was maybe not interested in dating the person anymore, or why I don't think it would work because of my time or something. Like, no, just say, I don't think we're a match. I would way rather be friends, or, you know, like leave it at that. You do not need to make up a reason to like end it. I
love that point. I used to do that all the time.
Same.
And I remember, I think like the year before I started dating Plant Daddy was the first time I started being honest with the guys that I was seeing. And I mean, most time I'd let them know, like, I'm not seeing anything, you know, but if it was a date that I didn't even feel like sexually attracted to them, I wouldn't say I wasn't attracted to you.
Oh, geez.
I would say like, yeah, we are not a good match. And it was very freeing. And their response is actually, I think, way more understanding than what I was expecting.
Yep.
And I think I even liked the response a little bit better than when I made up like little lies, like wrong timing, you know.
Yeah.
It just felt more respectful.
I love that.
In general.
It does feel more respectful because you're being real. Why not? Yeah, completely. Exactly. Damn. God, I love this shit. I fucking love this shit.
Love this shit. I'm trying to think if I have any more. Do you?
I wrote down, stop looking at people's social media that you don't want to see. Like, literally remove them. Block them and unblock them so you're not following them, they're not following you. Like, if it's not serving you to follow this person, or if you don't want to follow someone back because you know they're following you because you met them at the bar and they're a bitch, hint, my night the other week, remember? Shared that story. Like, I don't want to follow you. I don't want to see you.
If you don't know what she's talking about, you better go listen.
I think it was 2 episodes ago.
Some girl came up to Sid and she was like, girl, I went on a date with Jordan, but like,
talk shit to my
Isn't he boring? And Sid was like, actually, you don't bring out, like, I bring out the fun in him, but whatever, bye. So, yeah.
Literally, side note, this is the only relationship that I haven't contemplated breaking up with him every, like, 2 days.
Every fucking day.
No, dead serious. I feel you. I used to contemplate ending a relationship almost every single day. That's called anxiety, my friends. And this one doesn't give me that. So, hi, yeah, welcome. Oh, my God. Anyway, so if you've got somebody you don't want to see, or you look at somebody and you're like, God, they were mean to me that one time, and you know what? They're attractive, and it's fucking annoying. Block them. Who cares? You don't need to look at their shit. Why?
Okay, let's get the deets. How many people do you have blocked on your Instagram?
Oh my God, a lot.
I was gonna say, I feel like you block people a lot.
I block anybody that's a fake account. First of all, see ya. No. Yep. Because I know I can usually figure out who you are, and then I block you and your regular account. Idiot.
I need to get better at that.
That was so aggressive. I feel like a bitch.
I like it. Ooh, Candid bitch.
I'm allowed to be. I'm allowed.
You're allowed to be a bitch.
Honey, it feels good to be real.
Okay.
Oh, I have another thing.
Yes.
Sorry, I keep coming up with things. Also, I raised my finger like I was like, a teacher. Don't. Oh.
Did y'all like that?
I like that. What is that you're drinking?
Okay, LaCroix, you know, doesn't do it for me.
Me either.
I like Waterloo a little bit better. I mean, Zevia is the
Waterloo
end all be all because that actually is very flavorful and tastes like it has like fake sugar in it.
It's like a pop,
It is a bomb. It's a pop. But Waterloo is the step up from LaCroix.
Mm-hmm.
The lemon lime tastes like a little Sprite here.
Oh, okay.
You've never had Waterloo? You drank that really sexily.
Oh, really? Oh my God. Oh, that's really good, actually.
Is it?
It's got a little more flavor.
Yeah.
It's not as bitter.
But it's the same idea.
LaCroix is too bitter for me. I used to like the limoncello flavor, and still I'm drinking water with like literally, you know, I saw this tweet. It's like how the LaCroix people make their drinks, and they like fanned a lemon in the room with the water cup, like across the room, and they're like, "That's it. That's the lemon flavor." I'm like, that's relatable as shit.
I've totally seen that.
It's kind of funny. I wrote down, when a friend crosses a line, it is not bitchy of you, even if they're your closest friend, to have a conversation about it.
Give us an example, because this is exciting stuff.
Let's say you go out with your friend and they acted a fucking fool, like to a point where it made you embarrassed, or they did something that was like being a complete bitch to you and a few other people, or disrespected somebody, let's say like your Uber driver, and like flicked them off or did something really inappropriate, like, and they wake up and they're embarrassed and they're feeling in their feels, and you're upset because they just embarrassed you or were rude to you.
I have a story that will.
Oh, you do?
Perfectly.
Okay, this is amazing.
Okay.
But the thing is, I'm like, you are allowed to have that conversation, whether that makes that friend uncomfortable or not.
Yep.
You're allowed to be like, you acted like a fucking lunatic last night, and this is the 7th time this has happened, and I don't like to go out with you, and you're like this.
What's
wrong with that?
I had a friend like this, and we had to stop going out
Really?
together. Yeah. So we were out drinking. It was a day party, and I just think it's fun to share stories.
Oh my God, no, I love this.
So we both like saw this guy, and like we're both single, and we both thought he was cute, right? And I'm used to being the friend, like with this girl especially. I just back down right away. I'm like, go for it, like whatever. Like that's
like,
just
sure.
Literally every fucking time, whatever. I'm over it. Okay, so she goes for it, whatever. They're talking, nothing really happens. Me and the guy are talking later in the day, and we're pretty like lit up by now. And she's over. I remember we look over this. It was like a pool party vibe. We look over, and she is just making out with this dude, like hands on, like they were having a great time. She was laughing, tongues down each other's
having fun.
throat. Yeah. So then I was like, oh, sick. Now I'm gonna flirt with this guy, right? Because she's, you know. So I'm flirting, and I end up like hitting it off with that other guy, and he kisses me, whatever.
Cute.
And then later that day, or we were like leaving, or she comes over and she sees me. Sorry, I'm like recalling this information.
No, that's okay.
She comes over and she sees me kissing this guy, and she's like, "You're a fucking bitch. You think you're so hot?" Screaming in my face, making the biggest scene. And I was like, my jaw was just dropped.
Oh my God.
And like I yelled at her back, but like obviously she was so drunk. And then it's like so awkward when then friends start taking sides, and you're like, dude, you don't even know what happened. And then the next day, like I tried to talk to her about it, but it was really awkward. And like
That's
we've
just
never
so
been able.
aggressive.
And you know what? I'm like, this is not for me. No.
And you're like, we can't go out together.
No.
Like we can't drink
was
together.
that a good story? Probably not.
No, it was
but
a good story.
Like, I
No,
just
people
still,
can
like,
relate to that shit.
I still remember that day, and like the look in her eyes when she was screaming at me, and it like hurt. I was like, the words she said to me were so mean. I know she was drunk and probably blacked out, but guess what? I don't give a fuck.
I don't know. Drunk words are sober thoughts, or so they say.
And like, I think they were probably true in what she was thinking. So
Really?
I'm like, yeah, I'll tell you who.
Oh God. I can even think of like 2 times. One being when every time I went out with this person, I would be the babysitter.
Yeah.
They would get too drunk repeatedly, like where I would have to go home and leave the situation with them. And I literally was like, I'm not going out with you anymore. Like I have to go home literally an hour after I get out every time because you're not controlling your liquor.
Yep.
Do you need help drinking? Like I'm asking from a friend position, like, do you not know how to drink, or do you need to talk to somebody? But like I had to say it because what the fuck? That's
also, these
not okay.
stories we're sharing are definitely from college. Like
Yeah,
when
they're
we were
college.
younger.
Sorry.
But like obviously when we go out with our friends now, I want to
people control themselves a little more.
Everyone's a complete shit show. Like you have your days, right? You're like
everybody
whatever.
has a day though. Let me say that because everybody has a day.
My birthday last year was so bad. Oh, was it last year?
No, not last year. 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
It was fun though.
Oh,
it was fun.
it was bad.
Oh,
that was the only time I grayed out. Okay.
And it happens more than just like drinking. Like for instance, I had a friend in college again, that like didn't get along with my other friends, and every time we'd mix groups, she'd get in a fight with the people I was with over like how much more she knew me. It was just weird. I just couldn't do it anymore. Like, why? Why are you doing that? And I was like, you can't be a bitch to my friends.
No.
Stop.
Yeah.
No.
She was being a bitch on a Candid.
But I didn't stand up for myself because I thought she was going to be a bitch to me. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, I've got the power.
I feel like I didn't really stand up enough for some things in college with that stuff too. So I wish I would have, but.
I'm just going to read these very fast and I won't elaborate on them.
Okay.
You don't need to fit in. You're not a bitch for not fitting in and not like wanting to confide to that. You don't need to go to everything. Like no one is going to like you less if you don't show up for something 1, 2, 3 times. Who cares?
Sid's saying this to herself.
This is me to me. Me, little sweet angel Sid, to me on the other shoulder, the little devil girl. Make up your own opinions. If you got a different opinion than someone, that doesn't make you a bitch. And you don't have to keep a secret if someone is mean to you. You're not less than them. And that doesn't make you a bitch for telling your close friend that someone was mean to you. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, like a little like a gossip vibe.
For instance, the girl who just was a bitch to me.
You're not a bitch for gossiping about that scenario.
No. Like that girl coming up to me.
Do you think I'm a bitch for sharing the story I just shared?
No.
Okay.
Do you think I'm a bitch for talking about the girl who came up to me at the bar?
No.
Exactly. She was the one being a bitch.
Because she was a bitch first, so then you can be a bitch back. Is
yeah.
that how it works?
No, not a bitch back because I don't want to be mean.
Yeah.
But I don't have to keep it a secret that someone was rude to me just because I'm like to be the bigger person. I'm still the bigger person, but I have the right. It's my life, you know, like you come in my way and you bet your ass I'm going to be like, what the hell was that?
I think a good...
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes. A good circumstance for this would be then you can tell your friend that she was mean to you, but I think you also have to first let that person know that you felt disrespected and that you were, you know what I mean?
Yes,
so like
with your friends.
Especially just because I know a lot of college people are listening. So like if you're in that group of friends, yes, you can maybe like, if you want to call it gossip to your best friend about how, you know, this one girl's mean to you, but make sure you address it with her first that you felt disrespected.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Like don't go behind people's back and make the problem a bigger issue just because you're talking to your other friends. More so I'm saying like, I didn't know this girl. She came up to me. She was rude to me. I told my friends, I said it on the podcast, didn't say her name. No one, she knows only who she is, you know, and like a few certain people, but it's like, I don't owe her anything. Yeah. Like I didn't have to be like, I can't tell that story. You know why? Because I can't, you know? So anywho, yeah, that's what I have.
Okay.
That's what I have about like being like,
is it funny
how boss bitch energy, fools?
Boss bitch, be that bitch. Beat
that ball to the basketball. What's that song?
Beat it.
Don't say it. No, like my husband.
Be that bad bitch. Be that happy bitch. Be that anxious bitch. Be that mad bitch. Be that depressed bitch. Be whatever kind of bitch you want to be. Word.
This bitch needs a McDonald's sandwich now. You know what I'm saying? Like, be that bitch that wants to eat a little something. Be that bitch.
Be that bitch that eats those sun-chip garden salsa.
Oh,
bitch.
you shouldn't have reminded me. Crinkle. Okay.
I have an advice, or do you want to do straight candid listener candid moment first? Let's
maybe
do
advice. Yeah.
Okay,
go ahead.
Cyril,
thanks for coming along, by the way, you guys, and just like being so aggressive and like telling stories.
When you said coming along, this is what I pictured, like you waving your arm.
Coming along.
Okay. Where are my goddamn notes? Oh,
sometimes I love looking at your note titles. Plant Daddy Epi, Ashley Legs.
Oh, that's my client. So we do legs together. Shout out Ashley. Okay. So this woman wrote in and she said, this one is a straight candid advice cue. Okay. So my boyfriend of 3 years is still friends with his ex of 2 years, but I've never been too bothered by it. She doesn't live in the same city as us, so they don't hang out. Just Snapchat from time to time to catch up. A couple days ago, something happened that rubbed me the wrong way. My boyfriend's ex sent him a postcard addressed to the apartment we live in together, by the way, with a long handwritten note on it from some place she thought he would like. In the note, she said she hoped that he and our dog were doing well, but made no mention of me. When I told him I thought it was weird, he let me know that she asked before sending it and if it would be weird, and he had told her no. To me, postcards kind of feel romantic, and the fact that she asked if it would be weird makes me think she knew that it would be, but didn't do it, but did it anyways. Not to mention the fact that she made no mention of me in the postcard. Am I out of line to think this is super strange?
No.
Yeah.
You're not out of line.
Right when I read that and I saw the Snapchat part, I was like,
I'm sorry. No. I don't like anything about that.
I think Snapchat is worse than
Yeah,
texting.
I
Because
agree.
Snapchat's sneaky. Snapchat's
Yeah.
like you could send something and it's gone and there's no evidence. Text is different. Text you can find it.
I saw a TikTok of a guy that goes to the mall and he goes up to the Mall of America.
Babe, I saw the same
Yes.
TikTok.
And he walks up to the couple and he says, all right, you guys have to switch phones on 3. 1, 2, 3.
They go,
opening
no,
their-
it was, do you trust each other? They both
Oh,
go,
that's
yeah.
right. You asked
They
about the
go-
trust.
They go, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, switch phones. And they're both like,
You could tell the girl's kind of side eye got a little weird. They switched phones and the guy was going through hers. And you could tell she wasn't really finding anything. And then he started just like digging.
and then the dude was like, go to her Snapchat. And then he was like looking at himself. He goes, okay, who's Charlie? Who's this? And
She was so
literally-
awkward.
She literally got caught. It was so
She couldn't
funny.
lie. And she's
Yeah.
like, and he's like reading the messages.
So
Oh, it was bad.
we did talk about, okay, can you be friends with your ex? We're like, yeah, you can be friendly with your ex.
Yeah, of course you can.
This was a couple episodes ago. And yeah, so this scenario, definitely red flag with the Snapchat. Like Ben said, I feel like it's a little too secretive for me. The postcard is actually not as bad as the Snapchat.
I don't think so either.
The postcard is still really weird and really like, I don't know. I feel like he's definitely like they're both
Holding on to each other.
Yeah, holding on to each other.
I agree.
And you can be friendly with your ex. Like if you run into them at the coffee shop, like I did the last week, a couple weeks ago,
Love that.
which was very crazy for me.
Weird vibes all around.
Weird vibes. Yeah, guys. Yeah, guys. I ran into my ex. This is a whole other story.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it was very,
Just
very
the
awkward.
weird feeling that you feel. It's like you time travel for a second. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, what the hell?
Hey, woo.
I don't think it's.
What are your
I don't know.
thoughts?
It's not normal. Like the postcard, a little weird. Sounds like they have a little too close of a relationship, like with each other. Hold on. Jesus, criminy.
Bless you.
The Snapchatting is still just the weirdest part. Like you dated someone for 2 years. You've obviously had sex many times. You probably said I love you.
Yeah.
And now you're Snapchatting while you're dating somebody else that you love and are banging, and like they're just like hanging out in the foreground. Like no thanks.
I actually don't think the postcard is that would throw me off. I'd be like, what the fuck? Because that's
it is,
like
no, yeah,
you
you're
have
right.
to go through a whole process. That's a lot of time that you're spending putting effort into somebody else's boyfriend who was your ex. Like that's just, I don't like the idea of that. I would cut that.
In your head, how many people would come ahead of buying your ex a postcard? Like before them, you know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
my mom, my dad, my sister, my best friend from college, Sophie, Ben. Like think about the list. If you're
You're
ex,
sending postcards in your ex's top 3. Like
honey,
move on.
figure it out. That is interesting. No, I
So
feel really bad though.
do
I would
think
get
she
out.
Should, yeah. I think she should bring it up to him. Absolutely. Yeah.
I would bring it up and then I'd probably get out because I think your answer is sitting right there. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Alright.
I don't want to jump to conclusions, but that's all I gotta say. Okay. Straight candid moment. I got it. Hashtag straight candid moment. Here we go. Sid and Soph, get ready for this one. It was the end of the night and I had definitely taken one too many shots, as had everyone else that I was with. We got back to where our night began after the bar, and all of a sudden everyone was gone except myself and this guy that I had met and that night, who was best friends with one of my girlfriends. To make the story make more sense, I'm going to name him as boy number 1. Next thing I know, we're hooking up in the living room. We were both so fucked up to even realize what was going on. I hear the front door open. We scramble for a blanket, and who I see standing in front of me is the guy that I had hooked up with a few times this summer and had started developing feelings for. Obviously, I hadn't told him. Let's name him boy number 2, okay? He walked out. Obviously, the tequila kept talking because I continued to hook up with boy number 1. 3 minutes later, boy number 2 comes back in just to walk back outside. This time I realized what was happening and immediately got up, put my clothes on, and went outside to find boy number 2. My hookup with boy number 1 was less than 15 minutes, I think, but things escalated pretty quickly. Outside is a fuzzy memory, but it was established I was leaving with him, which is what I had wanted all the night anyway.
Leaving with boy number 1?
She's leaving with boy number 2 now.
Oh.
So she got all anxious because the guy she kind of likes was caught
Got
her
it.
hooking up with someone, but she was drunk.
Okay,
so now she's outside with boy number 2. Okay. So I remember saying I had to go get my purse, my shoes, and I tell boy number 1 I was leaving with him. I would be right back. We got in the Uber to go back to his place, and I was still holding my shoes in my hand. When we got back to his place, I realized that I had one of my shoes and one of boy number 1's shoes in hand. We both thought it was hilarious, and we were so fucked up. We decided to smoke a little too to try to help our horrendous hangover coming the next day. So now I'm hooking up with boy number 2, the guy I like and have been hooking up with a few times previously. Everything was going in great until the thought of accidentally saying the wrong guy's name during sex crossed my mind. I tried to get the thought out of my head until I did indeed say the wrong name, hooking up. Not the name of boy number 1, But for God's sakes, my ex-boyfriend's name.
Boy number 7.
Boy number 7. I actually wanted to pass away in that moment. How that even happened, I have no fucking clue. I literally haven't thought about my ex in months. I don't even remember what he said. I think we both gasped, and I said, I have no way of recovering from that, but I promise it's not what you think. To make matters worse, the ex-boyfriend's name I said was the same name as another guy we were with the whole night that I had been hanging out with all summer. So he probably thought I was thinking of that other guy. This would be boy number 4 now. The rest of the night.
Boy number 12.
Then the rest of the night and the next morning were great. I went back to my friend's house, and us girls were laughing about how we all got into last night and how the night really took a turn. It was a funny story until later that day when I found out that boy number 2 didn't know about boy number 1 until boy number 2 texted boy number 2 or number 1 and that he hooked up with me that night. To make it worse, boy number 1 was so drunk he didn't even remember hooking up.
That
rip. All this says is rip.
Rip.
Okay,
First of all, I love the way she wrote that.
I know.
That's the shit we're looking for.
I had to read it. I know it's long. I know it's hard to follow, but it's literally just, in a way, it's so fucking relatable because either you've done it or you know somebody that have done it, and you're like, you can't keep track of everybody, and you're like, oh shit, I just said somebody else's name when I was hooking up with this other person. So they probably think I'm like, oh my God. I just feel like, like college.
That literally is college in a
college
nutshell.
in a nutshell, baby.
I loved that. Thanks for sharing.
Oh my God. I just, you guys, we love hashtag Streaking Moments.
She didn't want to shout out?
No, she didn't at all. She literally was like, no, don't tell anyone this. Hashtag,
you know who you are.
Streaking Moments. We love them. Keep writing them in. Remember, it's a forum in our link in bio. So you go to that and you can type it in and you know, all the things.
You know.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I have the hiccups really bad. I'm sorry that I keep making weird noises.
You guys, that is all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. We're in our new studio.
Hey,
First episode from new studio. It feels pretty good.
Is it just me or is it cooling down in here?
No, it's not. My right armpit is sweating way more than my left armpit.
It's cooling down in here. I feel good now.
You should feel the dampness of my
Well, you were just
region.
reading that boy number 25, so.
I will say, I read that pretty fucking well for how complex it was. And I'm not usually a good reader on the mic, so that's a big thing.
You did a great job.
Make sure to follow us at Straight Candid Podcast. I'm at Candid Sid.
I'm at Candid Soph.
And I'm at Ben Sarbacher.
Also, you guys, if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, do it now because we have some cool things coming. And I don't know, there might be different types of content. So we need to know our numbers. So if you do watch on the YouTube, you need to subscribe.
On the YouTube channel?
Do it now. I'm telling you.
And subscribe, please, or follow, I guess I should say, on Spotify. It really helps us figure out who's out there, who's watching, who's doing the thing. And honestly, we fucking love you. If you like our podcast and you share it to your story, make sure you tag us so we can see it, please.
Yes. Please share. Please rate, leave the review. Gosh, damn it. Please leave on Apple Podcasts. And I know we share, like, obviously at the end of this podcast, y'all should be thankful because a lot of people do this at the beginning. So if you're here all the way, we appreciate you.
I fucking love you.
And do it.
Like, I love you personally. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
We love you guys. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I like this.
I feel like I have a permanent spot where my headphones was.
I'm sorry, it's so hot in here today.
I know.
I was so hot at the beginning, and then I was okay. But I literally had like at the YouTube. I'm gonna laugh so hard. Oh, did you feel my pants in the middle? I whizzed. Y'all.